It took my client 10 plus years to realize what I'll tell you in minutes about your home care business. Most home care owners are so busy putting out fires that they don't even realize they're watching money slip away every single week. My client spent over a decade chasing her tail before she cracked the code. When I first met her, she was literally doing every single thing within her agency, wearing every hat and filling every single role. So fast forward 90 days and she went from running her agency like an overworked employee to leading it like a true CEO. But here's the truth. That transformation didn't happen overnight, and it certainly didn't stop after 90 days. In this video, I'm going to share the two biggest problems she faced that kept her stuck for over 10 years. And if you stick around, I'll show you exactly how we fixed it in just 90 days, but with the understanding that this is just the beginning of her growth. My client, like so many of you watching, got into this business because she could care, right? She loved what she did. Her heart was in it, her hands knew the work, and she was a natural caregiver. So when she started her home care agency, she leaned into what she knew best, which was caregiving. She was the one who stepped in when a shift needed coverage, the one who trained new caregivers by example, the one families leaned on when emotions ran high. She didn't just run the agency, she carried it, but it came at a cost. The late nights, the nonstop calls, the pressure to hold it all together day after day. It wore her down. She was tired, overwhelmed, and she was quietly burning out. Because even though she was great at the work, no one had prepared her to build a business. And here's the truth that snuck up on her. Just because you can do everything doesn't mean that you actually should. And without realizing it, she had built a business where everything depended on her. She wasn't leading a team, she was the team. And that worked until it didn't. Because most home care agency owners, you're experts in care, not in cash flow, not in pricing strategies, and not in building systems that protect your time and your profit. And let's be real, nobody hands you a playbook for how to actually run the business. So she did what most of us do. She figured it out the hard way. And for over 10 years, she ran her agency on instinct, on emotion, on reaction. And she just kept thinking, if I just work harder, the money will follow. But hustle doesn't scale. Clarity does, structure does, and leadership does. That's why I'm so excited to share a free resource I created just for you. My exact playbook to bring clarity to your agency and boost your revenue fast. Just drop the word increase in the comments and I'll send it right over. Can't wait to see you crush it. The second issue, she was a full-time employee in her own company. So she wasn't being the CEO. She wore every hat. So she was scheduling, she did recruitment, payroll, intake, training. She did emergency coverage, and it showed. She was spending her time on $18 per hour tasks when if she could focus on the right things, her time was really worth $96 per hour or more. Now, let me make this very plain. If you're stuck in the daily grind, you're robbing your business of the strategy it needs to grow. The systems we put in place, those were just the foundation for her business. Real business growth requires regular adjustments, strategy pivots, and monthly check-ins to make sure that you're staying on track. Now, here's a quick exercise to help you see the value of your time. The first thing that you're going to do is start with your salary. So if you're paying yourself $200,000 per year, that's the base that we're going to work with. The second step is you need to calculate your hourly rate. So take $200,000 and divide it by 2,080 hours. This is the typical number of work hours in a year. Now, just a side note, how we get this is you usually work about 40 hours per week. So that's how we got this 2,080 hours for the year. So we're going to take your $200,000 of salary that you pay yourself, and we're going to divide that by 2,080 hours. That's going to be $96 per hour. So each hour of your time is worth about $96 per hour. Now, think about where your time is actually going. How many hours are you spending on administrative tasks, things like scheduling, recruitment, or managing payroll? Let's say you spend 10 hours a week on these tasks. So 10 hours a week times $96 per hour is $960 per week. That's almost $50,000 per year spent on tasks that could be delegated or automated. The opportunity cost. What could you achieve if you spent that $50,000 worth of your time focusing on higher level tasks, growing your team, refining your pricing strategy, developing systems that run smoothly without you? That $50,000 is the difference between staying stuck in the daily grind and taking the next step to a scalable, profitable business. When you're too caught up in the small stuff, you're missing the chance to work on the bigger picture, and that's costing you more than what you actually think. So every hour you spend building a schedule instead of building systems, every minute fixing a shift instead of forecasting cash flow, every time you're too tired to think about your pricing, to make clear pricing adjustments, that's not just exhaustive, it's expensive, and that's a $50,000 decision being made every single year. She was working in the business and not on the business. She had created a job for herself, not a scalable company. And here's what we had to face head on. Her business didn't need more hustle, it needed better structure, a stronger strategy, and a smarter use of her time. As an agency owner, you probably found yourself stuck in the weeds handling the daily operations, making sure that everything runs smoothly, and constantly putting out fires. But here's the reality. You don't have to keep grinding like that. She didn't need to be the doer. She needed to be the designer, the one who sets the vision, builds the systems, and leads the team, instead of getting bogged down in every single detail. So I asked her three tough questions that every agency owner needs to ask themselves. Number one, are you the only person who knows how everything runs in your agency? If something happens to you tomorrow, does your business come to a scratching halt because only you know how the system works? Number two, can your business grow without you doing more? If you're running the show at 110% capacity, can your business scale, or are you stuck in a cycle where growth means you doing even more work? And number three, do your numbers tell you where to go next, or are you flying blind? Are you making the decisions based on gut feelings or real data? Knowing your numbers isn't just about bookkeeping. It's about having a roadmap for where to take your business to the next level. My client answer to all three of these questions and a little more was no. So we changed it. This is where everything started to shift. And once we diagnosed the real issue, her leadership mindset, we built the two systems every home care agency CEO needs to scale and stay sane. So the first thing that we did, we put a scoreboard within her company. We turned her numbers into a decision-making dashboard. So no more gut guesses, no more flying blind. We track the data that actually moves the needle in her home care business. Then we looked at her profit margin per client to know which clients are truly profitable. The scoreboard allowed us to look at her client retention by referral source. So we needed to understand where her best clients were coming from so that we could nurture those relationships and grow her business. We also did cash flow forecasting. We planned ahead to avoid surprises with her cash flow. And suddenly she wasn't reacting to problems, she was preventing them. She could make smart strategic decisions with confidence. The second thing we implemented was the strategic action plan. So we didn't just set a 90-day goal and walk away. We built a clear, focused plan and reviewed it every 30 days to stay on track. If something wasn't working, we didn't wait to fix it. We pivoted very fast. We stayed aligned and we kept the momentum in our company going. So every month we asked, what's actually moving the needle? What are the bottlenecks? Meaning what's stopping you from getting to the next level, and what needs to shift right now? So that 30-day rhythm turned her business from reactive to proactive. She stopped firefighting and she started leading with data, intention, and clarity. The real transformation happened when she shifted from being the doer to actually being the leader. And that's a process. Leadership is a muscle you keep stretching. We'll continue to refine that muscle, building on everything that we've already put into place. But this wasn't just a 90-day sprint, it was the foundation for a long term strategy, one that we continue to build on month after month. Because remember, real transformation doesn't happen in one quarter, it happens over time. When you have the right structure, the right data, and the right support to help you grow, we're not just solving today's problem, we're building a business she always wanted. One that runs with confidence and it scales with purpose and supports her life and not the other way around. In just 90 days, she made a complete turnaround. She handed off scheduling with clear SOPs so she wasn't stuck in the weeds. She stopped accepting low margin referrals that were draining her. She raised her prices and started attracting higher value private pay clients. And she began tracking key metrics like caregiver productivity and client profitability. She wasn't just busy anymore, she was building a business with a plan. And for the very first time, she had the margin to pay herself what she actually deserved. She had real data to drive growth, not just react to whatever came her way. And most importantly, she had the mental space to breathe again as a CEO. Now she has the tools, but she needs ongoing support to make sure that momentum continues and her business keeps growing. Because once you're on the right track, the key is staying there and making those tweaks that keep you ahead. But the best part, she got back to why she started this whole thing in the first place, to help families create jobs and build a life with freedom and purpose. So let me ask you, are you still wearing every hat in your agency, trying to juggle it all? Do you know where your margins stand, or are you just hoping the bank account holds up? Do you have a growth plan in place, or are you just riding the referral roller coaster, hoping for the best? If any of that sounds like you, then it's time for a shift. You need a scoreboard that tells you where you stand, you need a strategy that gives you direction, and you need to stop doing everything yourself and start leading your team.